This is Friday morning, so I will say good Friday morning. I want to tell you two things before I start my day here. I read a headline, and this is like an ongoing thing. I'm going to continue talking about how the media tries to elicit certain responses and shape society's behavior. And this is how they drive wedges between people, because lots of people don't take time or have the time that I have. I'm retired. So I can go stop what I'm doing and do a little more investigation. Okay, I come across the headline. Columbus, Ohio police shoot pregnant black woman. Okay, and now if you stop there, you may become infuriated about cops just wantonly shooting people for no reason. Just walking around with their guns drawn, shooting black women, pregnant women. So I went and read, and here's what happened. This 21-year-old black woman, pregnant with her third child, and her oldest child was 6 years old. So she started young. Let's just leave it there. So here's what happened. She went into a Kroger in Columbus, Ohio, and stole multiple bottles of whiskey. And police stopped her, and she ran to her car, and they followed her to her car. And one was standing at her window telling her that she's just making it worse for herself. And the other cop steps in front of her car so she wouldn't leave. She puts it in gear and tries to run the cop down, and the cop shot her. So there's the whole story. But what they don't want you to read is the whole story. They want you to read that headline. And for 99% of the people who just see that headline and don't bother going reading the whole article, or at least reading the pertinent info, what do you think? Same thing I would think with a headline like that. So my point in saying this is, man, the media, oh God, they pull our heartstrings. They know where to trigger us and make us mad with these headlines. And that's all it is. These little blip, blip, blip headlines that go down the line, triggering different people's emotions. And we all have triggers, all of us. And, honestly, my trigger is cops doing stupid shit or violating people's rights or killing people unarmed. So that's why I went and read it. And then I learned the rest of it. And of course, these cops were justified. She tried to kill them by running them over. She was pregnant, stealing bottles of whiskey. Anyway, that's just my point, that they try to manipulate your thinking, your thought process, and how you feel about things, and who you're angry at. And they drive these wedges between society. They drive these wedges with these headlines, knowing that most people don't have the time to go read all these articles that come with all these inflammatory headlines. Here's the second thing I want to say. I use a freaking ton of sandpaper. And, yesterday David was over, so that's a Coke for him and a Coke for me, but yesterday was a 2-Coke day for me. I empty this constantly. You just wouldn't believe the amount of sandpaper I use. And sandpaper is one of the costliest things that I have to replace constantly. Well, I found a place that sells the sandpaper that I like, Indasa Rhino. I have been using Rhino Wet, and it's very expensive. It's like $45 for 50 sheets. But these lower grits, I don't sand wet. And rarely, I don't sand wet often. I sand these synthetic handles wet when I get up to about 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200. I wet sand the handles. So I don't need Rhino Wet for my lower grits. Rhino Dry is about $20 cheaper for a pack of 50. And this is who I buy them from. 2sand.com. I'm not connected with them. I'm not an affiliate, but they sell this sandpaper cheaper than anybody else on the internet. And believe me, I have scanned the entire internet the world over looking for a place to buy this stuff cheaper than what I've been paying. So there you go, 2sand.com. The number 2. Okay, let's get these things unbuckled and unwax papered and get my dog up on his perch on the workbench, and we'll get our day started. You ready to get our day started, sleepy boy? You gonna get you a nap up there? Okay. Oh, this was $33, and that's 50, and I will go through this in no time at all. Okay, one more thing. I swear I'm gonna get to work. That little boom box, I can hear that. That's loud enough to hear over all my machines, including my loudest one, that one, and my second loudest one, that one. So it doesn't have a name wrote on it. It probably does somewhere in fine print, but here's what it is. It's a model E86, and Voke Boom is the name of it. No adjustments. It's very simple, plug and play. Even a dummy like me can figure out how to connect it to my Bluetooth, and I don't need bass and all that. I just need it to be, and I don't listen to a lot of music in here. Sometimes I do, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and YouTube that I don't have to watch, you know, stuff that works like, oh, what's his name? Good Lord, Travis Maddox. Is it the Homestead Prepper or the Prepared Homestead? Yeah, he does most of his videos. He's just talking in front of a creek, so you don't have to, you know, be there watching the video. All right, now, seriously, I'm getting to work. Oh, is it dusty in here? I am almost ready to start the hand sanding process. I have a little bit more, I got to get my die grinder and bring this down just a little bit more to the level of the synthetic. And by the way, this is polyester. Let's see if I can. And this, no, that's not it. This is who I get it from, on Etsy. And it's like $14, $15 for a set. And I've been buying them from the same guy for a while. LS Grips. They make grips for hand, pistols too. And he just gives you some basic instructions on how to polish it. But I have come to my own discovery, my own process, which works fine. And it took me a little while to get to where I'm at now. I can get these very, very shiny and without melting them. That's the thing. These stainless pins, or is this stainless or brass? I can't remember. I'll know when I polish them. You got to be very careful because these pins heat up quick and they melt the plastic. So you have to sand and cool it, sand and cool it. Even hand sanding, these things get hot. So you got to be very careful with the hand sanding, very careful with the belt sander. All right, so a few more hours on these, and these will be actual knife handles. Polished and shiny and pertimus. All right, that is wet sanded up to 1200. There's the water. So now we're fixing to go buff. I'm gonna take the tape off. I'm gonna buff the handles, rebuff the metal, and I think we're done. And the next thing will be a sheath. You want to see what that new handle looks like? All right. Alrighty. You know, I've let a bunch of these get away without taking any glamour shots. And I think I'm going to stop what I'm doing and go sit up outside in the sun and take a few pictures of this before I ship it off. I mean, I'm still a few days from doing that, but I have one more knife to work on, the BC Special. But I'm going to stop and go take pictures of this one right now. Okay, mesa zwei. What is it in Spanish? Cuchillo dos. Gonna drink, see, this is a 2 Coke day. I'll drink another Coke, get that all up to, same thing, 1200. I'm gonna wet sand it because it's stabilized. And I'll show you what I got in, about an hour and 20 minutes. All right, there, sanded up to 1,000. And now we're gonna go buff this up, see what kind of purdy we can bring out of it. We'll be right back. There we go. And that is maple burl. Tomorrow I will make a sheath for both of these, and this one will be for sale, $185, and that one is sold. Oh, Lordy, what a long day. I am going home. See you tomorrow. Have a good Saturday.